closed. What about this one? Closed too. Why? Because the Spring Festival is approaching.
你好, I'm Wawa. Welcome to my channel. In China, the Spring Festival is the most important holiday, like Christmas in the USA. Before it arrives, most shops close and the streets are quiet. That's because people rush home to be with their families. I'll go to my grandparents' village to celebrate the New Year this year. Do you know how people in rural China celebrate the Chinese New Year? I'll show you. This is the first Spring Festival after I became unemployed. Please don't get me wrong, I sincerely hope there won't be the second year. There is a Chinese saying, whether you are rich or poor, go home for the Spring Festival. It means even if you are a loser, you should still return home to be with your family. Home is always a haven that welcomes you without judging your successes or failures. On New Year's Eve, we pay respects to our ancestors. It's a ritual of importance. Tomorrow is a Spring Festival. We will pay our respects once again. Although these customs are ancient, every time I participate, I deeply feel the continuation of our family line and the warmth of kinship. My grandmother's tomb is located in a cemetery uniformly planned by the village. As this is a small village on the verge of disappearing, the cemetery is quite small. Before her passing, my grandmother once said that after the 100th anniversary of her birth, there would be no need to visit her grave anymore, because she believed that by then she would have been reborn and reincarnated. Now, calculating it, my grandparents have all surpassed the age of 100, yet we still insist on visiting the graves. It's a way to express our longing for our deceased relatives. I didn't communicate much with my grandmother. I grew up in the town, so I didn't spend much time with her when I was a kid, and we weren't very close. Another reason was that my grandmother could only speak the local dialect. Although I could understand it, my speaking ability was extremely poor, which caused some communication barriers. However, I vividly remember what she told me during our last meeting. I was sighing over a trivial matter, and she taught me that a man shouldn't sigh easily, as fate might hear those sighs and then defeat him. According to Chinese customs, husband and wife should be buried together. But because my grandparents died a long time apart and the rules changed in between, they had to be buried separately. In the era when my grandfather passed away, people could choose any place with good feng shui as their burial site. His tomb, with a hill at its back and facing the water, has excellent feng shui. Fortunately, my grandparents' tombs are not far apart, allowing them to watch over each other. In recent years, roads have been built in the village, making it impossible to climb up the hill. So, we can only offer our respects towards the tomb this way. Every time after paying respects to my grandpa, I take an extra look at the stone nearby. Villagers in old times said it looked like a cock, but I thought it was more like a crocodile. Of course, they hadn't seen a crocodile before. The stone was already there when my grandpa was alive. I have no memory of my grandpa. It's said that he was an excellent carpenter, often invited by villagers to do carpentry work in their homes. He couldn't only make tables, stools, and cabinets, but also carve intricate designs on wood. Not long after I was born, he was too hot after work and jumped into a cold stream to take a bath, but got a fever instead. If it were now, this would just be a minor illness that could be cured quickly. But that time, when the rural health worker was found, he said, "He is over 70, his time is near, there's nothing to be done." After returning home, we light firecrackers. Then every household begins to enjoy the Chinese New Year's Eve dinner. Usually we have this dinner a bit earlier because it takes longer than an ordinary supper. People chat while they eat, enjoying the warmth of family. After dinner, everyone starts doing what they like. Some watch TV, some play cards or mahjong, or waiting for midnight. When it strikes 0, every family sets off firecrackers and fireworks to celebrate. This Spring Festival, I really felt the emotions flowing, like all the wounds healing and a new energy to get started again. Every time we got together, it was like looking back on good times and looking forward to what's to come. The Spring Festival isn't just a holiday, it's our heartfelt connection to home and our love for living.